Hey, I'm Seth with Land to House. This is the Worx 40 volt max line trimmer. Has the dual 20 volt power share batteries. Let's head up to the shop real quick, take a quick close look at this machine, come back down here and start putting it to use. Here's what comes in the box of this unit. The upper and lower portions of the trimmer itself, the guard, the edger wheel, the two 20 volt batteries, and the battery charger. Let's go ahead and get this assembled real quick. First, I'm going to take the lower portion of the trimmer and put it into the shaft here. There is a little swell inside of this lower shaft that needs to line up with this portion down below here. Just going to slide that together and then tighten this piece to make sure it makes a good solid lock. There we go. And now I'm going to move down here to this end and install the guard. Now there's a screw that's provided here on the underside. I'm just going to unscrew that real quick. And slip the guard on here. It's got a little track system it rides on. Makes a little click there. And then I'm going to return this screw to that hole to make sure it doesn't come out. Very nice. Now on this unit you could store the wheels here along where you would be using it for doing your trim, but I'm just going to be storing it up here on the other side of the shaft because I don't really have anything around here to even use those wheels for, so we'll keep it there for now. I've already pre-charged both of these batteries. The charger is a dual charger, so you can charge them both at the same time. Has LED lights here that will blink whenever it is charging or stay solid whenever it is done charging. Plugs into your regular wall outlet, and that's about it. Has plenty of air cooling ports here to make sure that it doesn't overheat. The batteries themselves are 20 volt and they are the power share, so you can go between different tools that Worx makes. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this machine before we get it nice and dirty. Starting down here at the business end. So here we have the string location. Now you can push this button to feed more string. Let's do that real quick. Feeds just about a ½ inch at a time. There is a string cutter over here on this side of the guard. So when this spins up, it will be cutting off that piece over there. This spot right here is for the edger wheels, which are stored right here at the moment. So you can push this little button and that will help release those. You come over here and just slide this down onto that post. And now whenever the edger is turned this way, you can use that to edge your sidewalk. Now I don't have anywhere to edge here at my place, so we'll just be keeping these wheels up here on the storage spot. But let's move on. There is a swivel point right here, so you can step on the guard and pull the shaft up, and it will swivel this up so it's more of a, I guess fits the need of your height. So anyway, we'll do that in a minute. Coming down here, here's where you would store those edger wheels. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay. And right here is where you would just tighten this to lock down the two different pieces of the shaft. The handle is adjustable, so you can spin this or also loosen this knob here and adjust that up or down to your liking. Now let's move up here to the controls. This right here is going to allow you to go between edging and regular weed eating. So let me just show you real quick. You can push that button and turn everything to the side or back up right. The next button, the red button here, is to feed out more line. You have a safety switch on both sides. Just simply press that in. The trigger down here, which is going to be locked down unless you push this button, and then it will be able to have slow to high speeds. And then back here is where you will put your batteries in, and those batteries just slide straight in there. It does have to have both batteries to operate. Go ahead and click the other one in. There's a tester here. Let me go ahead and push that. And you can see there full bars on those batteries. Each battery also has a tester there. And that is basically all there is to it. Let's go ahead and get this for its first use. Okay, to get this thing ready for use, I'm going to adjust the handle a little bit so that it is just about right there. Now I'm going to stand this up, and hopefully I'll be able to just step here on this piece and fold that out. So let's see, if I'm using this, I think about right there is where I'm going to want it. I'll go ahead and pull the trigger and see how loud this is. Not too bad. All right, I've got this little patch of grass right over here. Let's start off with giving this a try on this grass. I love how quiet this thing is. It's very quiet, like you would expect in an all-electric trimmer. Now I have noticed that whenever you pull the trigger, it seems to feed out a tiny bit of line. Listen to this. So every time you pull that trigger, a little bit's going to come out. So I think that it may be worth the while to try to get a good sized section before you stop and start again, just to save your line. Let's go ahead and try out this line feed button. Okay, nothing happens if the trigger is not being pulled. Interesting. So it's going to stop the string from spinning for just a second, feed the line, and then start back again. This unit advertises a 1 acre runtime with the dual battery. So I've got this little grassy area back here. I'm going to go ahead and just begin cutting this. It's much less than an acre, but definitely has some tall, thick grass. So let's go ahead and give this a try by stepping out over here. Considering this is a grass trimmer and not a weed eater, I feel like it's doing a pretty good job with this tough stuff back here. Let's go ahead and give a test on the battery and see what we stand at. We have 2 bars left, so it's actually using up some pretty good battery for in here, and then this strip along here, and then down there at the bottom as well. Works very well on normal grass and around the playhouse base. Just didn't last as long as I was thinking it would on the really tall weeds, but it's a grass trimmer, not a weed eater, so it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. I've been out here cutting for quite a while. Let's see how this thing has fared with its first use. To access the string, all you have to do is squeeze both sides here. This little cap comes off and you can pull this out. I used very little of the string that was on here, so that is excellent. I was going through some pretty gnarly stuff out there. Nice. So this plate here can be stepped on to adjust the angle So if you are taller or shorter than I am, you can adjust that. And I know I didn't show the way that you use the edger. Let me pull these wheels off here and we will run through that real quick. So to attach these, flip them up and push down like that. And then up here on the handle, you'll see the this button right here, the first button. You can push that and it flips the motor part to the side. And now I can actually step this back down. Yeah, so that's kind of like a little flat piece. And let's go ahead and just turn this on. There we go. Just dig a little hole in the dirt. And then when you're done with that, push the button, flip it back around, and then you'd have to step on this again to bring that out to the angle you need. And squeeze that little trigger to pull the wheels, and they can be stored here. I was wondering if this would get in the way, and it does not seem to bother me at all down here, which is really nice. Now if you need to store this somewhere and your space is limited, you could pull those batteries out and then come back over here and just unscrew this just the same way that it was attached earlier, and then you have two pieces that could be stored in somewhere pretty small. My thoughts on the Worx 40-volt line trimmer after using it for the first time. I'm going to be using this a lot more. I like it. It has plenty of power to cut most of my grass here on the ditches, and the hill back behind me, that was a lot of thorn bushes and little trees. It took them down, but it was not intended for that. It has a place here for a shoulder strap if you're going to be carrying this a long distance. Might be something to look into. Now one thing that I found I didn't like, that I don't like, is let's say you're cutting for a while and you decide to stop and you want to hold the handle here. If you do, you'll click that button to let out more line. So it's just kind of annoying. And if you accidentally hit that, it's gonna stop it, put out line. But as you saw, I used very little line here on this while I was cutting here today. So anyway, I'm impressed and looking forward to using this for the rest of the summer. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to check out the Worx 40-volt max line trimmer, I have a link in the description down below. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.